A pleasant good afternoon from the Diamond Baseball Complex here in Mossy Creek. Andrew Rogers, glad to have you alongside here today on the Eagles Sports Network and on Flow Sports as Carson-Newman Baseball gets set to wrap up its three-game series with Emory and Henry going for the sweep as the Eagles try to draw closer back to a 500 record, sitting at 4-6, has won all four games this season at home, and will try to extend this home winning streak and remain unbeaten here today and go for the sweep of Emory and Henry this afternoon. The Eagles took game one yesterday in large fashion, a 15-4 victory that was sparked by the 7-run sixth inning after Emory and Henry had marched back after trailing 3-0 after the first inning, scored 4 in the next 6 to take the lead before Carson-Newman erupted for 7 in the 6th. They got 5 more in the 8th and route to that 15-4 victory. That momentum carried over into Game 2's 5-0 victory. Set up what could be a sweep of the Wasps here this afternoon as Carson-Newman and Emory and Henry get going. First pitch from Hunter Harrington right at 1 o'clock is a ball low and outside. Harrington will make his first career start, 3 appearances this season on the rubber, 8 1/3 innings pitched, an ERA at 3.24. Jared Foley is the leadoff hitter for Emory and Henry as he bounces one foul to move the count to a ball and a strike. Harrington gets this one hit right back up the middle. Nearly got his glove on it, but it bounces through the middle of Carson-Newman's defense and into center field for a leadoff single. So Foley continues to be a quality hitter atop this E&H lineup. He started and played in all 11 games now this season, leads the team with 16 hits, and he's aboard to start things here in the first inning. I'll bring Tyler Bradley to the plate, hitting at .235 early in the season. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball low. Harrington having to work from the stretch after one batter as the bunt is placed down by Bradley, first base side. Throw to first just in time. Well executed by Ballant behind the plate, able to sprint out up the first base line, field it cleanly, and make a strong throw just in time to get Bradley, who tried to beat out the throw, was unable to, but he does advance Foley to first base, or from first to second base. And the Wasps have an early runner in scoring position with one out for Wayne Mize. Harrington comes set, a look at the runner at second, and the pitch is a slider that runs outside for ball one. Harrington, a junior transfer from Marshall, spent one season with the Thundering Herd before joining the Eagles last season, in which he appeared in 20 games and threw a total of 25 innings. 1 win and 4 losses a season ago, had 3 saves, and a 7.20 earned run average over the course of those 20 appearances. Gets a foul ball from Mize, the left fielder here. Mize hitting .353. Enters this afternoon's matchup as the top hitter on this team. Breaking ball's a strike, throw to third. A strong one and in time to get Foley, who tried to steal third. And a stellar throw from Ballant to get Foley caught stealing. Second time he's been caught stealing this season. There's 2 outs. Now it changes the complexion of the inning. A 1-2 pitch to Mize. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Emory and Henry had a runner in scoring position. The next 2 pitches, a second strike. They throw out the runner trying to steal third, and Harrington delivers a 1-2 breaking ball to get a swing and a miss on Mize. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Carson-Newman, who comes to the plate for the first time. It'll be Jackson, McLean, and Denton to lead things off for Carson-Newman when we return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex here on the Eagles Sports Network. Henry Jackson will lead things off for Carson-Newman. It will face Bryson Wagner on the mound today for Emory and Henry. He'll make his third appearance, all three of which now will be starts on the mound. In his first season with the Wasps, has thrown 8 total innings, 5 hits allowed. Both runs he's given up are earned runs, 6 walks and 8 strikeouts. His third start begins with the pitch to Jackson on the inside corner, but it missed for a ball. Jackson yesterday, solid day at the plate in the 2 games combined. Went 3 for 6 and drove in 5 runs. 5 of the 20 runs Carson-Newman scored were driven in by the right fielder, who swings at a 1-0 pitch and fouls it back and out of play. Ball and a strike on Carson-Newman's leadoff hitter. Jackson followed by Dalton McLean and James Denton. And the 1-2-3 spot of Carson-Newman's batting order here this afternoon. Wagner will work from the stretch, and he gets Jackson to pop one up into the infield right side. It's the first baseman, Sawyers, that is calling off the second baseman, Mazza, to make the catch, and that's the first out. Jackson pops out in the infield for the first out of the inning. Sawyers at first base, as mentioned. Noah Mazza is the second baseman. Left side of the infield for Emory and Henry, Jared Follies the third baseman. Mason Lyda is the shortstop. Left to right in the outfield, Wade Mize. The center fielders, Tyler Bradley, and Jeremy Green Jr. is the right fielder. Catching Wagner today is Camden Bailey, making his 7th start of the season. First pitch from Wagner in there to McLean for a strike. Wagner in his first season, a transfer from Wake Technical Community College. Spent 2 seasons there before joining the Wasps. Here's a ground ball left side. Played off a couple of hops by Folly. His long throw across the infield is in time to retire McLean. Pop out and a ground out. There's 2 quick outs here in the top half of the first inning. Better first inning for E&H compared to game 1 yesterday. They allowed 3 runs in the first inning against Carson-Newman. James Denton, who's at the plate now, had a 2 RBI double to get the scoring started, and Mitchell Ballant singled to right center to score Denton later that inning. Cap off a 3-run first. Wagner's got the first 2 Carson-Newman hitters down so far and gets a swing and a miss from the left-handed hitting first baseman Denton for strike 1. Wagner coming off a good second season with Wake Technical Community College. Went 10-2 despite a 5.63 earned run average over the course of 62 1/3 innings pitched, as Denton takes inside. It's ball 1. 14 starts, so he'll be used in this starting role this year for Emory and Henry, getting the opportunity to pitch against Carson-Newman this afternoon. As he continues to work from the stretch, coming set, the 1-1 to Denton. He checked his swing. Home plate umpire says it's a ball, and the first base umpire agrees that Denton able to hold back his swing. The count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Denton hitting .385 early in the season, 10 of 26 at the plate with 4 of those 10 hits for extra bases. 2-1 pitch is a fastball right at the knees for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 gone in the first. Wagner trying to answer Harrington's 1-2-3 inning. It was an unconventional 1-2-3 inning that got stealing for the second out, with Foley trying to get to third, and then the strikeout on Mize on the ensuing pitch. Here's a ground ball right back to Wagner. He leaps up, makes the grab, flips to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bryson Wagner. Both teams down in order. We head to the second. No score here on the Eagle Sports Network. We head to the top of the second inning. Both teams have three batters go to the plate, and that's 3 outs to the end of each half of the first inning. Carson-Newman defensively. Nelson Smith draws another start in left field, his 4th start of the year. Dalton McLean's the center fielder. Henry Jackson out in right. Ben Wilcoxon starts at the hot corner. He's at third. Trey Miller's at short. Second baseman's Will Gibbs. James Denton over at first base, and Mitchell Ballin catching the starter Harrington today. Delivers a strike into Cole Cunningham, the designated hitter today. Takes a slider outside, ball and a strike to begin the top of the second inning. E&H did not manage to score a run in game 2. There's a ground ball through the right side. This will get through and into right field. And a leadoff single for Cole Cunningham. Back-to-back innings that the Wasps are able to get the leadoff guy aboard. They ran themselves out of the first inning, and now they get Cunningham aboard to lead off the second. But the Wasps went scoreless in the final 10 innings played yesterday. Didn't score in the final 3 of game 1 and did not score in 7 tries. Here's a ground ball, a high chopper in front of Ballin. He'll just take the out at first with McCray Sawyers not realizing that ball was in play. It bounced so high into the air he couldn't find it. Allen makes a strong throw to first, and that's a 2-3 put out for the first out of the second inning. And once again, here we are, third batter of the inning, and a runner at second base and 1 out. It's Jeremy Green Jr. making his 5th start of the year, batting $118 at the plate. Harrington from the stretch delivers a slider outside to Green for ball 1. Emory Henry managed 5 hits in game 2 yesterday, 2 of which came from Jeremy Green Jr. from that cleanup spot. Today he hits in the 6th spot playing right field. Harrington set in the 1-0. Fastball at the letters for strike 1. Fourth appearance of the year for Harrington, who's gone multiple innings in all 3 appearances. Went 4 innings against Shorter, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned in relief, walked 3 and struck out 5. His other 2 outings against Mars Hill and USC Aiken, he went 2 innings each in and allowed just 1 combined run in those 2 outings. 1-1 to Green. A good slider on the outer third, strike 2. Jeremy Green Jr. steps back into the batter's box with 1 out in the top of the second inning, no score. Harrington said, look back at the runner in the pitch. Got Green to chase at the slider, strike 3 swinging. Second punch out for Hunter Harrington, and there's 2 outs in the inning. Now bring the catcher Camden Bailey to the plate, who's 5 of 17 at the plate this season. Got the start in game 1 yesterday behind the plate. And went 1 for 4. Later scored a run as well on an RBI base hit by Mason Leiter, an RBI walk with the bases loaded yesterday. Helped draw the Wasps closer. Now he's tasked with trying to drive in the game's first run as Harrington delivers a fastball that's line foul, hard foul, and out of play. A little bit late on the fastball from the right-hander. It's strike 1. Harrington set a deep pause, and the pitch is low, ball 1 to Camden Bailey. Mason Leiter and Noah Mazza to follow. They're the 8-9 hitters of this Emory and Henry batting order. Right-hander comes set, a look back at the runner at second. The pitch is hit softly right back to Harrington. He fields it with his mitt. Will flip on to first to Denton for the final out of the inning. So the leadoff hit from Cole Cunningham, but he's stranded at second base. We're through an inning and a half. It's Emory and Henry 0, Carson-Newman 0. The Eagles try to get their first hit here in the bottom of the second inning when we return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex here on the Eagle Sports Network. 4, 5, and 6 due up for Carson-Newman in the bottom of the second inning. Zach Bose, Mitchell Ballant, and Nelson Smith. Part of the Carson-Newman order to face Bryson Wagner after a 1-2-3 first inning for the right-hander. Junior was able to get Carson-Newman to ground out a couple of times and pop out once in that first inning, trying to stay in his groove, working from the stretch here in the bottom of the second inning. Right-hander set. The first pitch to Zach Bose as a strike at the knees to begin the bottom half of the second inning. Both teams are 4 and 6 entering this afternoon's matchup. Eagles unbeaten at home this season, 4 wins, no losses, but they're winless on the road, 0 and 6 this season. 0-1 to Bose is hit hard on the ground, foul down the left field line. And Wagner works ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Eagles hit the road after today's matchup. They get a Tuesday meeting with Lee at 3 p.m. before heading up north to face off against Cal U in Pennsylvania. Those times to be announced on Friday and Saturday. High fastball laid off by Bose. Count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Bose, one of 3 Eagles to play and start in all 11 games now this season. Jackson, McLean, and Bose, the only 3 to play and start in all 3 this year. Swing and a miss, foul tip into the glove. Strike 3, Bailey holds on, and Bryson Wagner has his first strikeout. He gets Bose swinging at a fastball, and there's 1 out in the inning. It gives way to Mitchell Ballant for Carson-Newman, the 5-hitter, hitting .300 this season in 10 games played. 9 hits, 3 of which have been doubles. He's got a pair of home runs and 8 driven in so far. First pitch to Ballant. The high fastball upstairs for ball 1. .1-0 fastball right at the knees for a strike. Ballant yesterday, an RBI base hit in game 1. That's RBI single to put Carson-Newman up 3-0 in that first inning of game 1 yesterday. His lone RBI and hit of game 1. Swing and a miss here for strike 2. He had 1 hit in game 2 before being subbed out for Spencer Bright and replaced behind the plate. Had a pair of walks as well in game 2. He's behind 1-2 as Wagner comes set with an out in the second inning. The 1-2 offerings a fastball upstairs that Ballant stays away from. It's ball 2. Nelson Smith to follow for Carson-Newman here in the second inning. Ballant trying to become Carson-Newman's first base runner. Steps back in, here's the 2-2. He hits it hard to the left side. It's fielded by Foley. He gathers, crow hop throw on to first in time. And it's a 5 up, 5 down start for Bryson Wagner. A strikeout, 3 ground outs, and a pop out. And now Nelson Smith to the plate with 2 outs in the second inning. Nelson Smith had a pretty good day at the plate yesterday for Carson-Newman. Did not start game 1, but was an integral part of Carson-Newman's 5-0 win to sweep the doubleheader yesterday. Got the Eagles on the board with a single through the right side to score Ballant. To get the Eagles on the board in the second, he shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a fastball high for ball 1. Later tripled in the 5th to score Ballant again. Help put the Eagles up 4-0 and create some more separation against the Wasps. It was a 2-hit day, 2 RBI day for the outfielder out there in left field today. Takes ball 2, 2 balls, no strikes to the 2-out batter Nelson Smith, making his 4th start of the year, 3-4-12 at the plate, a .250 average so far this season. His first runs batted in coming yesterday. 2-0 fastball right at the letters for a strike. Right-hander Wagner trying to complete a 6 up, 6 down start to his outing. Gets a swing and miss from Smith here at strike 2. Bryson Wagner seems to be in a groove out there right now for Emory and Henry. Able to work back and even up this count. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the second. Right, he shakes off his catcher Bailey, his first sign. Now the second one he likes comes set, and the 2-2 is fouled back. Smith stays alive. Went to the fastball after shaking off the initial pitch that Bailey wanted. He shook it off, and Bragner wanted the fastball, but Smith fouls it back. Wagner set another 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Smith chased a high fastball. Second strikeout for Bryson Wagner. 6 up, 6 down for him. We head to the third. No score here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on the Eagles Sports Network. Eight 9-1 for Emory and Henry here in the third inning. Mason Lyda, Noah Mazza to hit for the first time, followed by Jared Foley at the top of the batting order, due up third here in the third. As Hunter Harrington back out there for a third inning of work, and he delivers a first pitch strike. 21 pitches through 2 innings, so just over 10 pitches an inning for the right-hander, who works quickly. And an 0-1 offering to Lyda's fouled back, and the right-hander's ahead 0-2. Lyda, one of 3 left-handed hitters in this lineup today for Emory and Henry. They're placed in the 2, 5, and 8 spots, so 2 right-handers separate the 3 lefties throughout this Wasps order. Harrington into his windup pitch, fastball outside, ball 1. Lyda stays away from the fastball on the outside. Harrington back to work, the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Right-hander's got his 3rd strikeout as he gets the leadoff guy Lyda to swing and miss at a fastball. 1 out in the 3rd. Gives way to Noah Mazza, hitting .324 this season, 12 hits, tied for 2nd on the team this year. None of which, though, have gone for extra bases as he takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Harrington quickly back to work. He gets a bouncing ball left side. Miller ranging to his right. A long throw across is up the line, and the first baseman Denton unable to make that tag on the speedy Mazza, who was able to just get past Denton at first to step on the bag before getting that tag applied. And so a 1-out base runner for Mazza here in the 3rd. Third consecutive inning, the Wasps have been able to get a base hit now. Came up empty in their first 2 tries, though, trying to get the scoring started in the 3rd. As Foley steps in for the 2nd time, shows bunt, hits it right back to Harrington, who just goes straight to first with it, and there's 2 outs. Well, sacrifice bunt for Foley, and now Tyler Bradley is tasked with trying to drive in the runner Mazza, who stands at second base now with 2 outs in the inning. Second time today we've already seen E&H go the small ball route, bunting the runner over, giving up that out, trying to get a runner in scoring position. Ran themselves into that out in the first inning. And with 2 outs, Tyler Bradley trying to help extend this inning as Harrington looks back at the runner and delivers a fastball that's fouled back into the netting for strike 1. Beautiful day for baseball, approaching 60 degrees here in Mossy Creek, with the sun shining and a good crowd enjoying some Sunday baseball this afternoon. Hoping the Eagles can go for the sweep and win their 3rd consecutive game. Harrington set the 0-1. Ground ball, chopper right side. It's foul. And there's 2 quick strikes on the left-handed hitting Tyler Bradley. Lefties so far today against Harrington are 0 for 3 at the plate. Righty trying to maintain his success against the left side of the E&H batting order. Harrington comes set in the 0-2 offering. I think it was just outside to where Ballant couldn't get to it. It's ball 1, bouncing off the wall behind the backstop. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Harrington trying to strand an E&H runner for the 2nd consecutive inning. Look back at the runner, Mazza. The pitch is line into right field, base hit. The runner is running from 3rd. The throw in from Jackson's a couple of hops. It's right there in plenty of time. Ballant applies the tag, and Mazza is out at the plate. It wasn't the prettiest throw from Jackson, but it got there on a couple of hops to Ballant, who applied a phenomenal tag on Mazza, who is touched out at home. The 4th hit of the inning, but once again, the Eagles blank the Wasps here in the 3rd. At the bottom of the 3rd, can Carson-Newman get its first hit? Find out next here on the Eagles Sports Network. A well-executed defensive play for Carson-Newman to end the top of the 3rd inning. On the throw in from Henry Jackson, with Ballant applying the quality tag at the plate. Had to wait on the runner Mazza and make sure he didn't weave his way around the tag to touch home. Ballant did a good job, applied the tag to get that final out of the 3rd inning and keep Emory and Henry off the scoreboard in the top of the 3rd inning. Now the Eagles back to work with the bats in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the first pitch to Ben Wilcoxon hits him on the inside, and he'll reach first base. Carson-Newman's first base runner via the hit by pitch to bring Will Gibbs to the plate. Wilcoxon gets things started with the hit by pitch, starting just his 4th game of the year. Now Will Gibbs with Carson-Newman's first base runner aboard. Right-hander Wagner goes to work. Gibbs tries to bunt it and pops it up foul behind home plate and into the netting for strike 1. Had the first base and 3rd baseman's charging for Emory and Henry on that bunt attempt. Strike 1 on Gibbs, who's hitting .233 this season. 7 hits and 30 tries. As Wilcoxon back on a dive after a quick pickoff attempt by Wagner. No balls and 1 strike to lead off here in the bottom of the third. No one out. Gibbs is getting ready to show bunt again as Wagner throws back over to Wilcoxon at first, who's back safely. Wagner set a long pause, and now the 0-1 offering with Gibbs showing bunt. He gets the sacrifice down right side. The first baseman, Sawyers, fields it, throws to Mazza, the second baseman, covering the bag at first for the out. So Gibbs does his job. He moves Wilcoxon to second, and now Trey Miller out of the 9 spot will hit with a runner in scoring position. Miller making his 9th start of the year, 5 hits so far in 2023. 2 of which have gone for extra bases. Takes a pitch on the outside corner, 4 strike 1. In his first plate appearance of the afternoon. Trying to get Carson-Newman on the board here in the bottom of the third. The Eagles have yet to manage a hit so far, but are threatening here in the bottom of the third after Wilcoxon was hit on the first pitch of the inning. Wagner a long look into his catcher, Bailey. He's got the sign, comes set. Couple look backs to the runner, Wilcoxon at second. The pitch lined into left field, base hit. Tom Griffin gives the stop sign to Ben Wilcoxon. He'll move up to third, and Trey Miller's got Carson-Newman's first hit of the afternoon. And there's runners on the corners with just 1 out, and now Henry Jackson at the plate. Good piece of hitting from Trey Miller to knock it through the 6-5 hole. The Eagles threatening in the bottom of the third inning. Bring Jackson to the plate, that's already driven in 5 runs this series. Has an opportunity to drive in more with runners on the corners and just 1 out. Wagner in his first jam of the afternoon throws over to first to keep Miller close to the bag. Just the 6th hit allowed by Wagner in what is his 3rd start of the year. He comes set, and the first pitch to Jackson is popped up right side. Running up against the hill is the first baseman, Sawyers, who takes the tumble but realizes the ball's out of play and in foul ground. Strike 1 on Jackson, who popped out back in the first. Trying to add on to what is a 9 RBI total in 10 games this year. Here's another throw over to first to keep Miller close, who's back on a dive safely. Right-hander Wagner comes set. A look at Wilcoxon, and he'll throw back to first once again. See how aggressive Tom Griffin wants to be here in the third inning if he puts Miller in motion to try to get that second runner in scoring position. Right-hander Wagner comes set. There goes Miller. Here's the pitch. It's a swing and a miss by Jackson. Bailey fakes the throw down, and Trey Miller swipes second base. Jackson swings and misses at the 0-1 offering, so he's behind in the count 0-2, but now 2 runners are in scoring position with just 1 out. Miller with his 4th stolen bag of the year. Wagner a long look in, once again comes set. Ahead of Jackson 0-2. The pitch runs inside and hits Henry Jackson. And the bases are loaded in the third inning with just one out. The second hit batter of the inning. And that'll draw a visit from the Emory and Henry dugout. Will Coxon led off the inning, drawing a hit by pitch on the first pitch. Gibbs bunted him to second base. Miller singled through the left side and then stole second, and now Jackson hit by a pitch, and he's reached at first base with Dalton McLean at the plate. Eagles were able to strike early in both games yesterday. Scored 3 in the first inning of game 1, scored 2 in the second inning of game 2. Have not scored yet so far, but are threatening here in the third inning to try to grab the early lead, which they've been able to do in both games of this series so far. And trying to do that here in game 3, going for the sweep of Emory and Henry. And what is the third all-time meeting? First series between these two clubs as Dalton McLean steps into the batter's box with the bases full of Eagles. First pitch to McLean. Slider outside that misses from Wagner for ball 1. McLean was a ground out victim in the first inning. Time called at the plate. Force Wagner to step off for a second. McLean 4 runs driven in this season, hitting .214 with runners in scoring position. Does not have a base hit this year with the bases jammed. 1-0 pitch is low, ball 2. Certainly Bryson Wagner has lost his mojo that he had in the first 2 innings, sending the Eagles down in order in the first 2 frames. Has lost a little bit of that command with 2 hit batters in the inning and now falling behind 2 balls and no strikes to Dalton McLean. Bases loaded in the third, no score. 2-0 pitch, low, away, ball 3. Figure McLean's taking all the way here. Ahead 3 balls and no strikes with the bases loaded and 1 out in the third. Righty Wagner comes set in the pitch. Fastball right down the middle, strike 1. Wagner back to work, working from the stretch. He comes set, 3-1 to McLean. High ball 4. McLean sprints up to first. Will Coxon sprints home, and the Eagles strike first in the final game of the series. It's 1-0 Carson-Newman. RBI walk drawn by Dalton McLean. Gets the Eagles on the board, his 5th RBI of the year. And now James Denton with the bases still loaded. Lefty steps into the batter's box to face Wagner for the second time. First pitch from the right-handers in there for a strike. Denton this season, one of the better hitters for Carson-Newman with guys in scoring position, hitting .375 this year with guys aboard. 0-1 offering to Denton. Is hit well out towards center field. Bradley on the run, makes the catch at the warning track. The runners at second and third tag up. It'll be a sacrifice fly for James Denton. It scores Trey Miller from third, and it's 2-0 Carson-Newman. Denton does the job to increase Carson-Newman's lead here in the third. Jackson moves from second to third, so now runners on the corners with 2 outs. McLean stays put at first. It's first and third, 2 outs in a 2-0 game for Zach Bose. Well, the Eagles have made Bryson Wagner pay for the couple of hit-by pitches earlier in this inning to strike for at least two. Bo's trying to add on to that number with 2 outs here in the inning. A throw over to McLean at first, who's back safely. Different situation now with the first and third situation if McLean would try to steal second base. Catcher Bailey could throw down with 2 outs in the inning to try to get that runner at second base. There goes McLean. Bailey will throw down to second. The play at second, not in time. McLean swipes his 3rd bag of the year on a close play at second base. So Camden Bailey elected to throw down that time, but the tag by the shortstop Elida was not in time, allowing McLean to swipe his 3rd bag of the year. And now there's 2 in scoring position with 2 outs for Zach Bose. That pitch was a strike. No balls and a strike to Bose, who steps out now and calls for time. No 1 set for Wagner. Look back at McLean, who's jumping out around second base, and Bose takes outside, ball 1. Interesting to see here if the approach from Wagner changes with that free base and open base at first base. They try to not totally pitch around Bose, but not give him anything good to hit with 2 outs in the inning. Here's a 1-1 that he pops up right side and foul ground. Sawyer will give it a look, and he makes the catch just shy of the hill on the right side and foul ground. McCray Sawyers makes the catch for the final out of the inning. Carson-Newman gets 1 hit in the inning. Trey Miller's single, but on a walked-in RBI and a sacrifice fly from James Denton and Dalton McLean have the Eagles on the board. It's 2-0 after 3 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Just 1 hit in that 3rd inning. Carson-Newman strikes for 2 runs on the walk and the sacrifice fly to get Carson-Newman on the board. And they have the lead heading into the 4th inning. Hunter Harrington will pitch for the first time with a 2-run lead. And his first pitch to Wayne Mize is on the outside corner. And low, it's ball 1 to Mize. Mize 0 for 1 at the plate so far today. That strikeout that ended the 1st inning as he takes a big swing and fouls one off toward the right side and out of play. For strike 1 to begin the top of the 4th inning. One offering high and away for ball 2. Harrington so far through 3 innings has allowed 4 hits, has been able to work out of the innings in which the Wasps have been able to get a few runners aboard. He has 3 strikeouts and no walks so far. Here's a good slider that breaks down into the zone. It's low, ball 3. Mize checked his swing, and the first base umpire says he did not go around to move the count to 3-1. Harrington jams Mize as he hits a flare out toward right field. Jackson a few steps in, makes the catch. 1 out in the 4th inning. A good inside pitch that Mize went after and jammed him on the hands to force that softly hit fly ball out to right. 1 out in the top of the 4th inning now for Cole Cunningham. First pitch in to Cunningham is a strike. Cunningham 1 for 1 at the plate. The single in the second as he swings and foul tips this 0-1 offering from Harrington into the mid of Ballant for strike 2. Quickly, Hunter Harrington's ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Works quickly into his windup. The pitch fouled back. Count remains 0-2. Another 0-2 pitch fouled back. And a strong battle here from Cunningham and Harrington with 1 out in the 4th inning. Right-hander goes back to work. Another 0-2 offering. Another foul ball into the netting. Harrington back to work. Another 0-2 pitch. A check swing from Cunningham. Pitch was outside. It's ball 1. After 3 straight foul balls and an 0-2 count, Cunningham draws the first ball of this plate appearance. 1-2 now. Ground ball, left side foul. One-two pitch. Breaking ball blocked by Ballant. As Cunningham stays away from the 1-2 pitch in the turf, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Two-two offering. Slider runs outside in the battle here from Cole Cunningham. He fouled several 0-2 pitches off, and now he sees the count run full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. One of the better long plate appearances from an Emory and Henry hitter so far, as this ball's hit off the end of the bat and foul up against the hill along the right side. And the count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Another 3-2. High fastball, ball 4. And a loud scream from Cole Cunningham after a well-earned walk. First walk of the day from Hunter Harrington. He certainly made Cunningham work. A long at-bat ends in a 1-out walk. Pitch at bat goes in favor of Cunningham, and now a pitch that misses outside to McCray Sawyers for ball 1. Sawyers in 13 plate appearances, now just 3 hits this season, with 6 strikeouts, making just his 4th start of the year. 1-0 pitch on the inside, ball 2. And now Tom Griffin out of the dugout along the third base side to chat with his right-hander after the walk, and then the first 2 pitches to Sawyers missing for a pair of balls. A couple of guys starting to run out there for Carson-Newman, heading toward the bullpen. Maybe get a guy loose here in the 4th inning. Harrington's pitch count right at 50 here in the 4th inning. Eagles return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex to end the month of February on February 28th to end the month on Tuesday with a midweek game against Young Harris. 2 p.m. first pitch. They'll host Mars Hill for their first South Atlantic Conference regular season series. That'll begin March the 3rd through the 5th, or through the 4th. 1 Friday, 2 Saturday. With the Mountain Lions, 2-0 pitch, ground ball left side. It'll be played off a couple of hops by Miller. A long throw to first, didn't get him. Will Coxon came off the bag at third, couldn't get there in time, and so Miller backed him up to make the play. Maybe didn't expect to make the play, and by the time he had gotten the ball, the long throw across, not able to get McCray Sawyers, who beats out the throw. It's an infield single, second one today for Emory and Henry, and there's 2 on and 1 out. Well, Harrington got the ground ball he needed. Just an awkward ground ball in a spot where Will Coxon couldn't make the play, and it was so softly hit that Miller couldn't field it. Or couldn't throw it over in time to get Sawyers. Fielded it cleanly, but didn't have enough time to get it over there in time. And now a ball on Jeremy Green Jr. with 2 aboard and 1 out in the 4th. Right-hander Harrington set, and the pitch is high, ball 2. We've seen Hunter already in this game be in tight situations. There were 2 runners aboard, or 1 runner aboard in the 3rd before Jackson's throw home to get Maz at the plate to help end the 3rd inning. The caught stealing in the 1st inning. And then stranded Cole Cunningham at second base in the 2nd inning. It's been a mixture of defense and good pitching through the first 3 frames to keep E&H off the scoreboard despite 5 hits. What's it going to take here to keep the Wasps off the board in the 4th? Harrington's fallen behind 3 balls and 1 strike now with an out in the 4th and 2 aboard. And the Eagles ahead 2-0. Runners on 1st and 2nd as the right-hander comes set. The 3-1 pitch. Inside, called strike. Jeremy Green Jr. had taken a step into the left-handed hitter batter's box, thinking that maybe he had ball 4. Instead, he steps back in and will now wait for a payoff pitch. Big pitch coming here as Harrington into the windup. The pitch jams Jeremy Green Jr. It's a soft roller to first that Denton can field and touch first at the same time. And there's 2 outs. So not a ground ball double play, but it is a ground out to get Green Jr. And now with 2 outs, it's Camden Bailey to step to the plate. Harrington comes set. First pitch to Bailey is a breaking ball in for a strike. Throw down to 3rd. A strong one, but back safely on a dive is Cunningham. Big spot here in the 4th inning. Harrington trying to strand a Wasps runner for the 3rd consecutive inning. The 0-1. Another good slider in there for a strike. And Harrington's ahead on the catcher, Bailey, 0-2. Crowd coming to life here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex as Harrington comes set. A pause in the 0-2. Went to the slider again and missed well outside. No chase from Bailey, and it's 1-2. Camden Bailey with no runs batted in so far this season in 18 at-bats. An opportunity to get his first here, though, and get Emory and Henry on the scoreboard. Righty set, the 1-2. Went to the slider again and missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, after seeing a couple of strikes go by with a slider from Harrington, Bailey watches a few go by and outside to work the count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 on and 2 out in the 4th. Harrington's 2-2. Again, another slider outside, ball 3. After going down 0-2, Bailey's worked it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch lined into left field, base hit. It 1 hops into the mitt of Smith. He fumbles it, and this will allow the 2nd run to come home. Camden Bailey with a 2-out, 2-run RBI single to left, and it's 2-2. Bailey delivers for his first 2 runs driven in this year, and what is just his 6th hit of the year as well. He's aboard at first with Mason Lida at the plate. Emory Henry finally strikes after stranding 2 in the first 3 innings. Here's a pop-up in foul ground. Ballant over toward his dugout, now ranging back toward the left field line. Makes the catch for the final out of the inning, but Camden Bailey delivers for the Wasps with a 2-run single to left. We're tied at 2 through 3.5. The Eagles, do they have an answer? We'll find out as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning here on the Eagles Sports Network. First pitch to Ballant to begin the bottom of the 4th inning is low for ball 1. Wagner back to work after giving up 2 runs in the 3rd. Facing Ballant for the 2nd time today, who grounded out back in the 2nd inning and lines one hard down the left field line. It one hops up against the Green Monster. Ballant rounding first. He's going to have a sliding in double. Leadoff double for Mitchell Ballant. On a hard hit ball to left. It's Carson-Newman's 2nd hit, and they've got life here in the 4th. That'll bring in Nelson Smith, struck out in the 2nd inning. We've got an opportunity with Ballant's leadoff double to begin this bottom of the 4th inning. Corner infielders playing just inside the bag as Wagner comes set, and the pitch to Smith is low for ball 1. Nelson Smith this season with 3 hits and 13 at-bats. A couple of runs driven in during yesterday's game, in game 2. RBI single in the 2nd inning, and then the triple into right field in the 5th. 1-0 offering, fastball outside, and low ball 2. Long pause here for Wagner, looking into his catcher Bailey for the sign. And now the 2-0 to Smith. He reached out and fouled a pitch off toward the right side and out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike on Nelson Smith. The Eagles and the Wasps tied at 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Final game of a 3-game series. Carson-Newman took the first 2. 15-4 in game 1 yesterday, 5-0 in 7 innings in game 2. 2-1. Just below the knees, ball 3. Smith works himself into a hitter's count with no one out in the 4th. And Balance standing on second base, trying to get the Eagles back in front. Wagner, look back, and the pitch is lined into right field, base hit. It one hops into the mid of Jeremy Green Jr. A strong throw in that's cut off by the first baseman. Sawyers will hold Ballant at third, but back-to-back hits to open up the 4th inning. Nelson Smith follows Ballant's double with a single to right, and there's runners on the corners and no one out for Ben Wilcoxon. Carson-Newman bats starting to come to life after going hitless and not getting a base runner in the first 2 innings. Miller, Ballant, and Smith with 3 hits, and now Ben Wilcoxon at the plate. And no one out here in the 4th. Throw back over to first. Wagner forced Sawyers to fall to his knees to secure that pickoff attempt. See if the Eagles once again decide to put the runner Smith in motion. Doesn't have any stolen bases this year. Try to get that second runner in scoring position if they keep him close to the bag at first. Wilcoxon shows bunt, placed it, but it's foul. No balls and a strike as Wilcoxon looks back up the third base line for his sign from head coach Tom Griffin. See what Griff wants to do here in a tied game at 2-2 and 2 on. Wagner a pause, and now he comes set. 0-1 pitch. Wilcoxon shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a called strike. 0-2. If Wilcoxon still has the bunt on with 2 strikes, and Ballant at third and Smith at first. 0-2 set for Wagner, a pause. And now the 0-2 is grounded through the right side, base hit. Ben Wilcoxon delivers an RBI single to right field. Ballant scores, and Carson-Newman is back in front 3-2. Ben Wilcoxon with his second run batted into the season, just his second hit as well. But he delivers here in the 4th to put Carson-Newman up by 1, 3-2. 2-strike hitting for the freshman Wilcoxon to get the Eagles back in front in the 4th inning, quickly responding after giving up 2 runs with 2 outs in the top half of this 4th inning. Now it's Will Gibbs with runners at first and second and no one out. Gibbs shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes outside for ball 1. Well, the pitch count for Wagner has run up to 55. And he started to get hit around here in the 4th inning with 3 consecutive hits to start the inning, and still no one out. 0-1 pitch. Gibbs shows bunt, places it toward the right side. Wagner range to his right, now throws to first. It's Mazza, the second baseman, covering the bag at first. So a 1-4 putout allows the runners to advance to second and third. A sacrifice bunt for Will Gibbs sets the table for Trey Miller with 2 in scoring position and 1 out in the inning. Wagner, first pitch to Miller, a breaking ball that drops into the zone 4 strike one. A good pitch to start this at bat. To Miller, who got Carson-Newman's first hit earlier in the game. 0-1 set for Wagner. He checks all the runners in the pitch to Miller on the outside corner. Strike 2. A good fastball from the right-hander to work ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. Now time called by Miller at the plate. Prior to an 0-2 pitch. Just 1 out in the inning. Miller trying to add on to what's been already 1 across here in the inning. Here's an 0-2 fastball that Miller eyed down the whole time and watched it miss outside for ball 1. Breaking ball low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. As Miller works back into the account. With 2 in scoring position for Carson-Newman. Wagner set for the 2-2, and the pitch popped up in foul ground. The catcher, Bailey, gives it a look, and it's out of play. Keeps it at 2-2. Wagner's got the sign. A 2-ball, 2-strike pitch with 1 out to Miller. He missed well outside. The ball maybe slipped off his hand, and it's 3-2. Do have the bag open at first base. Not the worst thing if Miller is walked here. Sets up a force everywhere, but Wagner looking for the second out here. The pitch to Miller. Ball 4, low, missed it. And Trey Miller sprints up to first base, and the bases are once again loaded for Carson-Newman. Wagner delivers his second walk. He's hit 2 batters and has now walked 2 batters. And now we'll face the top of Carson-Newman's order, Henry Jackson, back to the plate. Was hit last inning and popped down in the first. Jackson watches a pitch go outside, ball 1. There is a guy throwing down there, I think, or at least some stretching going on for Emory and Henry out there beyond right field. With Wagner's pitch count in the mid-60s as he misses inside, ball 2. Nearly drilled Jackson, who just got away and shrugged away from that fastball on the inside third. And this one did hit Jackson. I think it deflected and hit Bailey too, but Henry Jackson hit by the pitch for the 2nd consecutive inning. It's his 10th run batted in of the year, and it's 4-2 Carson-Newman. 2nd time today Jackson's been hit, and I think that's going to draw a change from Emory and Henry. Well, Bryson Wagner had it going in the first 2 innings. He retired the first 6 guys, but since then has allowed 4 runs and 4 hits, has walked 2, has struck out 2, but has also hit 3 batters. Pitching change here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. We'll tell you about the new pitcher after this here on the Eagle Sports Network. right, the new pitcher for Emory and Henry is Jacob Nestor. He'll make his 4th appearance of the year. He's made 1 start, total of 6 innings pitched. Does have a save this year. Transferring in from Concord in his first season with Emory and Henry. Tasked with getting out of this bases loaded jam, and E&H already down 4-2 with 2 come across here in the 4th. Right-hander peers into his catcher Bailey, facing Dalton McLean with the bases loaded. And McLean pops one up in the infield. Infield fly rule in effect here as routine catch is made by Mazin. There's 2 outs. So Nestor gets McLean to pop out, and now it will face James Denton with 2 outs. Jacob Nestor this season, a total of 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, an earned run, a couple of walks, and 5 strikeouts. Right-hander is a sophomore from Hillsville, Virginia, and Carroll County High School. First pitch to Denton on the outside for ball 1. Denton today with the sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning. That increased Carson-Newman's lead 2, and he grounded out in the 1st. Facing the reliever Nestor here, who's got a 1.42 earned run average early in the season, as Nestor gets Denton to foul one right off his foot. The umpire will give Denton a second to walk off that foul ball. Ball on a strike with 2 outs. And the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Henry Jackson was hit by a pitch to score Carson-Newman's 2nd run this inning. Will Coxon, who stands at 3rd base now, with an RBI base hit to give Carson-Newman the lead back earlier in the frame. He's at 3rd, Miller's at 2nd base, and Jackson at 1st. With Denton at the plate and the Eagles ahead by 2. Nestor set, and the pitch is grounded right back to Nestor, who gets a finger on, gets his glove to just barely hit it, keeps it in front, and runs it over to the bag at 1st for the final out of the inning. If Nestor doesn't get his glove on it, Denton probably has an RBI base hit. Instead, Nestor keeps it in front, does what he has to get out of the 4th inning. So Nestor with a pair of outs to get McLean to pop out and Denton to ground out. We're through 4. Carson-Newman adds 2 more in the inning and leads by 2 as we head to the 5th inning here on the Eagles Sports Network. Harrington back to work, and first pitch swinging. Here's a line drive into left center field. That will go for extra bases for Noah Mazza, who wastes no time in the 5th inning. Lining one all the way to the wall out there in left center field. Eventually tracked down by McLean and the Eagles, and it's a leadoff double for Noah Mazza, who's halfway toward the cycle. A single in the 3rd, and now a double to lead off the 5th. So quickly E&H trying to answer Carson-Newman's 2-run 4th. That saw the Eagles get back in front. Harrington's breaking ball is blocked by Ballin here at the plate. And it's ball one on Jared Foley, who is 1-for-1 today. Singled in the first, was left at second base, or was caught stealing, I should say, there in that first inning. And then placed a sacrifice bunt down in the third. 1-0 pitch. He thought about bunting it, instead pulls it back and takes a called strike. Harrington so far, 4 innings pitched, has allowed 7 hits, a pair of runs that are earned, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. The pitch count at 67 total pitches so far as the right-hander comes set. A couple of look-backs to the runner at second, and the pitch is a slider that breaks low and away, ball 2. Eagles had a couple of arms loosening down the left field line. Tom Griffin elects to go back to Harrington with the Eagles ahead by 2 in the 5th inning here. Hoping to get some quality work from his junior right-hander. Called strike, throw down to second. Miller applies the tag to the foot of the runner Mazza, who's back safely and might be shaken up. Let's see. He's still laying on top of the second base bag. Maybe had an awkward slide back. He is limping a little bit as he tries to walk off. An injury on the slide back into second base. Seemed like he almost overslid beyond the bag at second initially. And maybe just grazed his knee up against the bag, not really realizing how close he was to the bag at second. Probably not expecting Ballant to throw down there either. He's back to his feet and seems ready to roll. Now Foley steps back in with 2 balls and 2 strikes. No one out in the 5th. Harrington set. The 2-2 is lined off the mitt of Harrington. It deflects to Miller, who won't even throw to first. Harrington probably kept that ball in the infield. Miller had already ranged to his left, expecting that ball to go up the middle, and then had to venture back to his right with Harrington having it deflect off his mitt. And so it's another infield base hit, and it's 1st and 3rd. And no one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Foley's 2nd hit, and now Tyler Bradley. 8th hit of the afternoon for Emory and Henry. Swinging away is Bradley, who fouls one down the first baseline. Denton makes the diving stop and foul ground. And it's strike 1. Bradley a sacrifice in the 1st and a single in the 3rd. Foley and Mazza both with hits to start this 5th inning. First 2 players for the Wasps with multiple hits this afternoon. Ground ball through the left side, base hit. E&H has drawn back within 1 on an RBI base hit from Tyler Bradley, and it's 4-3. 9th hit already for E&H. And there's still no one out in the 5th inning. It's a 4-3 game. Good piece of hitting. Bradley goes the other way. The lefty knocks it through the left side. And now we may have a change. Here in the 5th inning. Travis Tingle, the pitching coach, out of the dugout, and he calls for a reliever. Pitching change here in the 5th. No one out. It's 4-3. Carson-Newman 2 aboard for the Wasps. We'll tell you about the new pitcher after this here on the Eagles Sports Network. New pitcher for Carson-Newman is Jackson Harbin here in the 5th. And he'll check in to the game with No one out in the inning and starts out with a breaking ball for a strike to Wayne Mize. Three-hitter in Mize at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a flyout in his 2 plate appearances against Harrington. And now we'll face the reliever Harbin, who goes to a breaking ball low at balance blocks to keep in front for ball 1. Ball and a strike, no one out, 2 aboard, top of the 5th in a 4-3 game. Harbin making his 4th appearance of 2023. Look back at the runner, and now the 1-1 is outside, ball 2. Harbin, a 6'3" sophomore. In his 3rd season with Carson-Newman, he's made 18 total appearances in his career, 9 in 2021 as a freshman, 6 last season, and now 4 this year. This being his 19th career appearance. Missed low and inside, ball 3. Harbin in 3 innings pitched in his 3 appearances, an 18.00 earned run average. Allowing 2 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's been a command issue for the right-hander through his first 3 appearances. Gets a foul ball here for Mize, and it's a full count. Harbin will feature a fastball, curveball, changeup. Battles back and now has a payoff pitch coming to Wayne Mize. Looks back to the runner Foley. A long pause in the 3-2. Stays upstairs, ball 4. Harbin comes on and walks Mize, and the bases are loaded. 4-3 game, bases loaded, and still no one out in the 5th. Foley at 3rd, Bradley at 2nd, and Mize at 1st with Cunningham at the plate, and he gets drilled in the head. Ball grazed off his helmet. It's a hit by pitch that drives in the tying run, 4-4. Harbin missed on the inside with the fastball. Cunningham drives in a run, and that draws Travis Tingle out of the dugout. And that may be it for Harbin. 7 pitches for the right-hander. He walks the leadoff guy and then hits Cunningham. And his day is over. Eagles go to a new pitcher here in the 5th inning. It started with 3 consecutive innings from Mazza, Foley, and Bradley. Bradley's hit scored the first run of the inning. Mize was walked by Harbin, and then Cunningham got hit by a pitch. And now Mason Mooney takes over, the senior. Comes in relief for just the 2nd time this year. Came on in a relief performance against USC Aiken, gave up 3 runs in his 1 inning pitched, and now checks in with the bases loaded in a tie game and delivers a strike on the outside to McCray Sawyers. Eagles in desperate need of an out here in the 5th inning. Do have a force everywhere. As Mooney gets into his windup, the 0-1 pitch breaks low and away, ball 1, pardon me. Fastball, slider, changeup for the right-hander Mooney, a 5'11" senior from San Jose, California, via West Valley Community College. 1-1 from Mooney is grounded right to Miller. Double play ball. He'll take it to the bag himself at 2nd and will throw to 1st. It's a 6-3 double play. Trey Miller able to do the job. Mooney gets the ground ball. Miller fields, takes it to the bag himself at 2nd, throws to 1st. Denton secures it for the 2nd out. It's an RBI ground out into the double play, though, as the runner Bradley scores from 3rd. And there's 2 outs. Runner at third now is Mize. And the first pitch to Jeremy Green Jr. is ball 1. Well, the Eagles get 2 outs. If you can get this batter, you'll certainly take getting out of this inning only trailing by 1 run, considering it was a tied game and the bases were loaded. So Mooney tries to get Carson-Newman out of this 5th inning jam. It's an out away from doing that. It's 2-0 pitch to Green Jr.'s high. It's ball 3. That's what Carson-Newman kind of wanted from Harbin when he had entered into the game, hoping that he was able to get a ground ball double play. Mooney, though, able to do so. And the deficit is 1. 3-0 slider dropped in for a strike. Green Jr. without a run batted in this season in 19 plate appearances. Swings and misses at a breaking ball on the outside. And the count is full. Three balls and 2 strikes. The pitch from Mooney is a pop fly into right center field. Jackson coming in, can't make the play. And it's a 2-out base hit into right center for Jeremy Green Jr. Not the prettiest looking hit for Green Jr., but he does enough with it to get into right center field and extend the Wasps' lead to 6-4. 10th hit already for E&H. It comes off the bat of Jeremy Green Jr. And now Camden Bailey. Bailey takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. He had the 2 RBI single with 2 outs last half inning for E&H that helped tie the game in the 4th. Trying to play add-on here in the top half of the 5th, and what's already been a 4-run 5th. There's a ground ball, half swing single through the right side for Bailey. I don't know if he truly intended to swing at that baseball, but did so and knocked it through the right side for his 2nd hit of the afternoon. The 11th hit for E&H, and they continue this 5th inning with another base hit. So Mason Mooney gets the ground ball double play and has now allowed back-to-back singles to Green Jr. and Bailey. And now Mason Lyda, as E&H will hit around in this 5th inning. Lyda, the 9th batter of the inning, takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Lyda will hit for the 3rd consecutive inning, struck out in the 3rd, and popped out in the 4th. The 1 pitch is low, ball 1. Lyda hitting above 300 this season, 10 hits now in 31 plate appearances, 8 runs driven in, trying to add on to that total here in the 5th inning as Mooney comes set. Right-hander takes a couple of glances at Green Jr. and delivers a 1-1 pitch on the outside corner, strike 2. Mooney shakes off Ballin a couple of times, now comes set, the 1-2 pitch. Grounded right side, foul. First appearance for Mason Mooney since February 8th. He pitched 3 innings and got the start against Tusculum. 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 was earned, and a couple of walks took the loss in that game. He's got a 1-2 win-loss record this year. Trying to get the Eagles out of the 5th inning here. 1-2 pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. Mason Mooney out of the pen, does allow a couple of runs to come across for E&H, but gets the Eagles out of the inning. The Wasps regain the lead with a 4-run 5th. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. Do the Eagles have yet another answer to Emory and Henry's offensive outburst in the last 2 frames? Find out if Carson-Newman does as we head to the bottom of the 5th here on the Eagles Sports Network. right, Eagles back to the bat rack, trailing by 2 runs, 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for Carson-Newman. Bose, Ballant, and Smith facing the reliever Jacob Nestor, who came on to get the final 2 outs of that bottom half of the 4th inning. And starts Bose out with a strike. Final line on Bryson Wagner, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 4 runs. They're all earned, a couple of walks and 2 strikeouts. And also hit 3 batters, facing 19 total. As Bose slams one out toward left center field. The center fielder Bradley over, and he's able to make the catch running into the wall, falling down. He's able to secure the catch out there in deep left center field for the first down. A phenomenal catch for Bradley on the run, and took a slam off the left field wall, but held on for the first down. Certainly knew that wall was in sight and ran into it after he made the catch to retire Bose for the first down of the inning. Good ball tracking ability that time for Bose, and now Mitchell Ballant to the plate. We've had 4 consecutive half innings with runs. 2 in the bottom of the 3rd for Carson-Newman. Each team scored 2 in the 4th, and then the 4-run top half of the 5th. As E&H looks for a shutdown inning after the 4-run 5th. There's a strike at the knees to Ballant, and it's strike 1, a ball and a strike with 1 out in the 5th. Emory and Henry yesterday had a total of 14 hits in the 2 combined games in the 16 innings played. They've got 11 hits already through 5 innings. 1-1 pitch from Nestor, runs away. And it's ball 1. Nestor has shown the ability to go and get multiple outs for this team. His first appearance of the year against Southern Wesleyan back on the 4th. He went 3 innings, 3 scoreless innings, allowed 2 hits and struck out 2. So he's got multiple innings in him. Hasn't pitched in 8 days, and so certainly he's well rested and probably give this team a couple of innings in the middle parts of this contest. He evens up the count on Ballant at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch inside, ball 3. Ballant 1 for 2 today, a double last half inning, and a ground out in the 2nd inning. Payoff pitch from Nestor, fouled back. Ballant protects the plate and fouls that pitch off. Keeps it at 3-2. Three-two pitch is hit well out toward right center field. Green Jr. giving it a look, and this ball is gone. Mitchell Ballant goes oppo, and oppo taco for Carson-Newman's catcher, Mitchell Ballant, with home run number 3 this season, and the Eagles back within a run, 6-5. A 3-2 fastball that Ballant soars out of the park to bring the Eagles back within a run. And now Nelson Smith. Nelson slams the first pitch down the 3rd base line and foul for strike 1. Smith wasting no time after the home run from Ballant. Righty Nestor comes set. Smith shows bunt and fouls it back for strike 2. 0-2 pitch. Smith fouls it back, protecting the plate. Oh, 2 pitch. Nestor goes to the fastball away, missed. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. One across in the inning on balance, third home run of 2023. A team high 3 dingers now. 1-2. Nelson Smith swings and chases after a breaking ball into the turf. Throw down by Bailey to first in time for the second out of the inning. Nestor records his first punch out in relief, and there's 2 outs in the bottom half of the 5th inning. First pitch to Wilcoxon outside, ball 1. Ball and a strike on Wilcoxon, who's reached both times. Was hit by a pitch in the 3rd and gave Carson-Newman a 3-2 lead in the 4th on his RBI single through the right side. And is ahead now 2 balls and no strikes. Chopper foul by Wilcoxon, strike 1 with 2 outs in the 5th. Two-1 to Wilcoxon is hit well out toward right. Jermaine Green Jr. ranging back to the warning track will make the catch for the final out of the inning. But Carson-Newman gets an 1-out hit from Mitchell Ballant. The Eagles are within a run as we head to the 6th inning. It's 6-5 Emory and Henry here on the Eagles Sports Network. We start the 6th in a 6-5 game. Their balance home run with 1 out in the 5th inning is Mason Mooney back to work in relief in the 6th inning and delivers a first pitch strike to Noah Mazza. Got things started last half inning and grounds one to the right side. Will Gibbs fields, throws to first in time. Out number 1. Mason Mooney got all 3 outs of the 5th and gets a ground ball out, and Mazza is retired for the first out. Of the top half of the 6th inning, we've had 5 consecutive frames with runs. Mooney and the Eagles trying to change that here to start the 6th inning. As Mooney starts out, the leadoff guy, Foley, at the top of the order with a strike. And here's a bouncing ball left side. Played on a couple of hops by Miller. His throw across to Denton in time. 2 outs. 4 pitches, 2 ground balls, 2 outs. And now Tyler Bradley, who is 2 for 2 today. RBI single last half inning as well. He'll take the first pitch from Mooney outside, ball 1. Mason Mooney, career appearance number 30 with Carson-Newman. There's a pop-up foul. On a strike now with 2 outs in the 6th. Had 15 appearances last season, an 8.22 earned run average after a 5 ERA. His first year with the Eagles. Enters today's contest with a 4.5 earned run average. Good slider here that breaks in for strike 2. Harrington's line of the starter, 4 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs. They're all earned, a walk and 3 strikeouts in the 20 batters he faces. Here's a ground ball right side. Will Gibbs charges it, fields it, throws to first in time. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mason Mooney and the Eagles. The first 1-2-3 innings since the first. We head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Eagles trying to carry that momentum to the bat rack, trailing by a run as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning here on the Eagles Sports Network. All right, Will Gibbs will try to start this bottom of the 6th inning off and get aboard with Carson-Newman trailing 6-5 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Andrew Rogers, glad to have you alongside for today's contest, the series finale between the Wasps and the Eagles. First pitch to Gibbs, high, ball 1 from Jacob Nestor, who faces Gibbs for the first time, who has placed down 2 sacrifice bunts in his first 2 trips to the plate. 1-0 offering from Nestor is lined into center field. Bradley takes a couple of steps back and has a beat on it for the first out of the inning. Good piece of hitting from Gibbs, just right to the center fielder Bradley, and there's 1 out in the 6th. Now Trey Miller. Trey Miller, 1 for 1 today, a single that he later scored on in the 3rd, and he drew a walk in the 4th inning. Here's a ground ball down the line, diving stop by Foley. His throw across on a couple of hops, not in time. Trey Miller slides head first into the bag to beat out the throw from Foley. A highlight reel dive and stop from Jared Foley. Just couldn't make the throw over in time. Saves Miller of extra bases at the very least. Bang bang play at first. Heads up effort by Miller to go head first into the bag as well. 1 out base runner for Carson-Newman, 6th hit of the day. Miller's 2nd. And now Henry Jackson steps in for the 4th time. He's taken a beating at the plate today. He's been hit by pitches in the 3rd and 4th innings. Drove in a run, drawing the hit by pitch in the 4th. Miller a few steps off the bag at first as Nestor delivers to Jackson, a strike. Nestor so far, 2 1/3, 2 hits, a run, it's earned. no walks, no strikeouts. Is facing his 9th batter of the afternoon. And now throws over to Miller at first, who's back safely. Miller running to second base. The throw from the shortstop, or to the shortstop, Lida in time for the out. Miller had taken off for second base, and Carson-Newman was thinking maybe it was a balk from Nestor, and why Miller had taken off for the bag, because he thought Matt Wagner or Nestor had taken a step toward the plate. And instantly the infield immediately shouted, "Step off," and so Nestor stepped off through to the shortstop Lida, and Miller is indeed out. Lida applies the tag for the second out of the inning. Miller caught stealing for the first time this season. There's 2 outs in the inning. And now a 1-0 count with no one on for Jackson. Pitch to Jackson, low ball 2. One ball, 1 strike on Henry Jackson. Nestor goes fastball low. 4 ball 2. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs in the 6th inning. The pitch, check swing from Jackson, fouled off into the Emory and Henry dugout. 4 strike 2. Nestor set a 2-2 pitch. Well outside. It goes off the mid of Bailey. And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. With 2 outs in the 6th inning. 3-2 to Jackson. Ball 4, it bounced in. 2-out runner for Jackson. He's reached 3 consecutive times, twice on a hit by pitch and once now on a walk. And he has Carson-Newman, a base runner, with 2 outs, and Dalton McLean at the plate. Well, Carson-Newman this season, when trailing after 6 innings, winless. 0-4 this year when they've trailed after 6 innings. So this 6th inning, certainly one that Carson-Newman would like to get at least a run back to tie this game. McLean shows bunt, pulls it back. Jackson takes off. Bailey fumbled the ball, bounced it off the mound, and Jackson steals second. That was an all-around rough play for Bailey. Fumbled the throw and then bounced it off the pitcher's mound. Another look there. Bobbled it and then bounced it right off the mound. And Jackson swipes his 4th bag of the year. 1-0 to McLean, high ball 2. Aggressive base running from Tom Griffin and company, getting that tying run in scoring position here in the 6th inning. Nestor comes set, and the 2-0 is fouled back by McLean, strike 1. Nestor has been good out of the bullpen despite the home run given up to Ballin. Facing his 10th batter now in McLean, who we got to pop out in the 4th. Short lead for Jackson at second, and now the 2-1. Line into right field, base hit. Tom Griffin's waving Henry Jackson. The throw is cut off. The tag at first is not in time. Jackson's scores were tied at 6. The Emory and Henry dugout is furious. They thought McCray Sawyers had tagged out McLean as he rounded first base. The umpire called him safe, and Jackson scored shortly after. It would have been a bang-bang play had that tag been applied for the final out of the inning. I don't know exactly if Jackson had stepped on home before that. But regardless, McLean safe at first. Jackson scores at 6-6. And now James Denton. That whole entire E&H dugout thought they had the out at first. They all leaped up out of the first base dugout thinking it was the final out of the inning. Instead, McLean safe at first, and the Eagles tie it in the 6th inning. Now James Denton. Denton checked his swing. Pitch was high for ball 1. They'll appeal at first, and the umpire says he did not go around. I want to change the complexion of the game. Carson-Newman tied after 6 innings this year, 1-1. So they won't go into the 7th trailing. And it's favorable for Carson-Newman fans because the Eagles haven't won a game when trailing after 6 this year. 1-1 pitch is fouled back, or 1-0 pitch fouled back, I should say. Ball and a strike now on James Denton. One set for the right-hander Nestor, and he'll throw back over to McLean at first, who's back safely on a dive. Ball 1 strike to Denton. The pitch grounded hard, foul. Two strikes now on James Denton with McLean at first and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Eagles have tied the game on Dalton McLean's single to right. Righty Nestor comes set, and the 1-2. McLean takes off. Denton swings and misses. Strike 3. Dalton McLean, though, with the RBI base hit to right to score Henry Jackson. We are tied at 6 through 6 to the 7th here on the Eagles Sports Network. Mason Mooney back to work with the Eagles tied with Emory and Henry here in the 6th inning. Andrew Rogers, glad to have you alongside as we head down the stretch in what's been a fun one with multiple lead changes throughout. Here's a fly ball, and it's a fair ball down the right field line. Extra bases for Wayne Mize as a long throw from Jackson into second base. One hops into the mid of Miller as Mize barely gets in to second base safely with a leadoff double. Wasting no time is Wayne Mize. After Carson-Newman was able to tie it in the bottom half of that 6th inning. And now Cole Cunningham, situationally here, interested to see what ENH would like to do. They have shown the small ball approach in this game. You got a decent hitter in Cole Cunningham at the plate. Do you bunt, put the bunt on and try to get this runner to third? Bunt is shown, and they'll place it. Mooney fields it. He'll go straight to first with it. And so a successfully placed bunt by Cole Cunningham. A sacrifice that gets the runner Mize to third with 1 out. Sets up the sacrifice fly opportunity here with McCray Sawyers at the plate. First pitch to Sawyers, a strike. Infield creeping in here for Carson-Newman. Gonna try to cut this runner down at the plate if it's a softly hit ground ball in the infield. 0-1, swing and a miss. Strike 2 on McCray Sawyers. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dropped third strike. Ballant will throw to first in time. 2nd out of the inning. Big time strikeout. 3 swings and misses from McCray Sawyers. Mooney with the K. His 2nd strikeout of the afternoon, and there's 2 outs. A big 3rd strike and big 2nd out of the inning. Now Mooney working to Green Jr., who takes a strike. Oh, 1, grounded softly down the line at third. Wilcoxon fields in foul ground. Strike 2. Mooney in the windup. The pitch to Green Jr. fouled off. Strike 2. Another 0-2 from Mooney. Green throws his hands at a ground ball right side. Denton takes it to the bag himself for the final out of the inning. Mason Mooney works out of the jam after the leadoff double by Wayne Mize. We'll stretch here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. We've got a good one, tied at 6. So we head to the bottom of the 7th inning here on the Eagles Sports Network. Zach Bose swings and fouls the first pitch back, facing new pitcher Hunter Kirkpatrick. The right-hander has a 3.6 earned run average this season, pitching a total of 5 innings so far this year in his first season with ENH. His fourth appearance of 2023, and a good breaking ball that Bose swings and misses at, and it's strike 2. Kirkpatrick, a junior right-hander, transfer from San Diego City College, where he pitched in 4 games for the Knights last year, struck out 3 batters in just under 6 innings pitched. He's in charge of the 6th inning as he peers into his catcher Bailey for an 0-2 offering to Zach Bose, who's 0 for 3, and after a long wait, Bose calls for time. Kirkpatrick into his windup, and the pitch, Bose golfs and hits high out toward left center field. Bradley ranging to his right, calls off his left fielder Mize and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Bose now 0 for 4 at the plate, and it gives way to Mitchell Ballant with 1 out in the 7th. Ballant homered in the 5th inning. Helped the Eagles draw within a run with a solo shot. He's got a 2-hit day so far, and he takes a breaking ball from Kirkpatrick for a strike. Here's a ball hit well out to left. On a line, it's caught by Mize, 2 outs. Second time today, Carson-Newman's hit one relatively well on a line. Gibbs did it earlier in the game, and it was caught into the hands of Tyler Bradley in center. That time, Mize is in the right spot to make the catch on Ballant's line drive to left. 2 outs in the 7th for Nelson Smith. Smith has had a solid series at the plate. He's driven in 2 runs this season. Both were in yesterday's game, and he singled and scored earlier here in Game 3 of the series in the 4th. Kirkpatrick quickly back to the rubber and is ahead 0-2. Getting a foul tip off the bat of Smith, 0-2. Kirkpatrick wastes no time. Out there on the rubber, now pauses for a second, gets into his windup, the 0-2 to Smith, breaks down in low, ball 1. Bottom of the 7th inning, Carson-Newman tied it last half inning on Dalton McLean's RBI single to right. 1-2 pitch, low, ball 2. Eagles led 2-0 after 3. ENH climbed back, scored 2 in the next half inning to tie it at 2. Carson-Newman scored 2 in the bottom half of that 4th, went back up 4-2. Then a 4-run 5th allowed Emory and Henry to grab the 6-4 lead. Ground ball left side. Smith hustling up the line, can't beat out the throw from the third baseman Foley, and that ends the inning. 6-6 game. The Eagles, after trailing 6-4, heading to the 5th, scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th, 1 in the bottom of the 6th, and now we're through 7. And the game is still tied at 6 apiece in the series finale between Carson-Newman and Emory and Henry. Which team strikes next? Emory and Henry has a chance to, in the top of the 8th inning, find out if they can do so when we come back here on the Eagles Sports Network. Mason Mooney back to work for his 4th inning out of the bullpen. He delivers a first pitch strike into the mid of Bowen as he faces fellow catcher Camden Bailey. 7-8-9 for the Wasps here in the 8th. And a tie 6-6 game. Bailey checked his swing on a breaking ball, and the first base umpire says he held back for ball 1. One pitch, an inside fastball for ball 2. Mooney in his first 3 innings out of the bullpen has allowed 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and a couple of strikeouts. Just 1 extra base hit as well. That leadoff double last half inning. Ground ball to third. Wilcoxon bobbles, gets it back, throws to first. It's one hop off the chest of Denton, who can't secure it, and it's a leadoff base runner for Emory and Henry. First error of today's game. Fielding error for Ben Wilcoxon. And with no one out, it's Mason Lyda as Mooney will lightly toss one over to first to keep Bailey close to the bag. Got to figure the sacrifice bunt is in play here for Lyda. Trying to get this runner in scoring position with no one out. Lefty shows bunt and fouls it back. At the third baseman, Wilcoxon charging. But Lyda fouls it back for strike 1. Mason Lyda at the plate so far today. He's 0 for 3 and has struck out twice. Rough day for a guy that's hit well above 300 in the first 9 games of his 2023 season. And Mooney will once again lightly toss one over to Denton at first to keep Bailey close to the bag. With no one out in the top of the 8th inning, a 6-6 game. E&H has out-hit Carson-Newman 12-7 so far. Mooney comes set from the stretch, the 0-1. Breaking ball is bunted, and Wilcoxon will field, throw to first. Denton with the scoop for the out. It looked like Wilcoxon was going to give way to Mooney, who thought Wilcoxon was going to take it. Eventually, Ben had good awareness to realize that Mooney was going to leave it for him, fielded it late, and still was able to gather and throw one over to Denton and just barely get the runner light at first. 1 out of the 8th. And now Noah Mazza. Mazza 2 for 3 at the plate. Him and Foley, who is on deck, are both 2 for 3 today. So 2 of your better hitters this afternoon for E&H are at the plate. Here's a fake pickoff attempt. They tried to get the runner to be confused by the ball going into the outfield, and Bailey wasn't fooled. The E&H dugout did a good job to not fall for the trick play. Good time to use the trick play. Heads up base running by Bailey to stay put at the bag and not fall for it. Here's a ground ball to third. Wilcoxon gloves it, looks down the runner, throws to first, 2nd out of the inning. Well, good response from Ben Wilcoxon after that fielding error to open up this inning. He makes back-to-back plays, and there's 2 outs. Two outs for Jared Foley, who's 2 for 3 at the plate. Singles in the 1st and 5th innings. Breaking ball from Mooney, breaks below the knees for ball 1. Mooney trying to complete his 4th relief inning of work this afternoon. All scoreless innings. Righty comes set. The 1-0 inside, ball 2. Best thing you got to like about what Mooney's done out there today is not allowed E&H to get free base runners. No walks out of the bullpen. When it seemed like E&H offensively had gotten going, Mooney has shut him down. Back-to-back scoreless frames. Here's a called strike to Foley. 2 balls and 1 strike. with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Righty comes set. A look back at Bailey at second base in the pitch. Grounded left side. Wilcoxon, the diving effort to his feet. The throw in time. Ben Wilcoxon, the diving effort and the throw across the diamond. He started the inning with a fielding error and makes 3 consecutive plays to end the 8th inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. We're still tied at 6 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Well, the man of the top of the 8th inning, Ben Wilcoxon, now gets his opportunity to step in and swing the bat and try to start the bottom of the 8th inning and get Carson-Newman the lead back before the 9th. He makes all 3 plays in the 8th and now takes a called strike from Hunter Kirkpatrick to start the inning. Wilcoxon 1 for 2 at the plate. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the 3rd and had an RBI single in the 4th. Checked his swing and stays away from a breaking ball for ball 1. Wilcoxon making just his 4th start of the year, 6th game he's played in, and showing why he's playing the hot corner. Made a fielding error to begin the inning, but made 3 consecutive plays, including a stellar play for the final out of the inning, a diving effort ranging to his left, and then made a strong throw over to first to get Maz at first. Breaking ball bounced in from Kirkpatrick, 2-2. Third time this year. There's been 2 other occasions where the Eagles have been tied with an opponent after 8 innings. Ground ball to third. It's fielded by Falius. Throw across is in time. First out of the 8th. There's been 2 other occasions in which Carson-Newman's been tied after 8 innings and has won the game. You go back to the 2 wins before this series, Marshall and Milligan, for those efforts. Breaking ball in there for a strike to Gibbs. Righty Kirkpatrick back onto the rubber in the 0-1 offering outside, ball 1. The pitch, Gibbs chased a high fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One-two pitch breaks outside and falls out of the mitt of Camden Bailey. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Both Kirkpatrick and Nestor have done a phenomenal job out of the bullpen. Both teams' relievers have done good work after the starters initially in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. Got a little roughed up. Gibbs down the right field line. Base hit. It drops in. Gibbs rounding first He'll be into second base with a one-out double. Will Gibbs delivers with a double down the right field line. And now it'll bring Trey Miller to the plate with just one out. Good Carson-Newman crowd and faithful on hand this afternoon, hoping the Eagles can strike for the go-ahead run in the eighth. Kirkpatrick set, working with a base runner aboard for the first time today. The pitch, a breaking ball outside, ball one. Kirkpatrick had initially retired 4 consecutive batters since coming out of the pen. It'll face Trey Miller, who's 2 for 2 today and has reached all 3 times. A single in the third, a walk in the fourth, and a single in the sixth. Righty set, the 1-0. Breaks into the zone, strike one. Henry Jackson to follow. Jackson hitless today. Miller, one of 2 Eagles with multiple hits. Ballant has 2 out of the 5 spot, including the home run. Ball and a strike, 1 out in the 8th. The pitch is hit well out to left field. Will it stay fair? It will! Trey Miller, a go-ahead 2-run shot to left. How about a 3-hit day for the freshman? And the Eagles lead 8-6. Trey Miller delivers with an absolute bullet to left. Everyone at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex was hoping that ball would stay inside the left field foul pole, and it did. A go-ahead 2-run shot for Miller in the 8th, and the Eagles have a 2-run lead and still just 1 out of the inning. Two balls and no strikes on Jackson. Now the pitch grounded left side. A couple of hops fielded by Foley. Throw to first in time to get Jackson. Jackson now falls to an 0 for 2 line, and there's 2 outs in the 8th inning. Good response by Kirkpatrick to get Jackson after Miller's 2-run shot. And now with 2 outs, it's Dalton McLean, who helped tie the game for Carson-Newman in the 6th inning with an RBI base hit to right field. He takes a strike. 0-1 to McLean, hit high into the air out towards center field. This should end the inning. Bradley's got it, and that ends the frame. But Trey Miller delivers a 2-run shot to left. The Eagles have an 8-6 lead. We head to the 9th. Mason Mooney back out there to try to close the door and get Carson-Newman its 3rd consecutive win and a sweep of Emory and Henry. Find out if they can do it after this here on the Eagles Sports Network. to the ninth. Trey Miller's heroics give Carson-Newman an 8-6 lead, and now Mason Mooney to face 2, 3, and 4 of the Emory and Henry batting order. Mason Mooney, 4 scoreless innings out of the bullpen. And now is back out there to try to complete the 5th. First pitch swinging, Jackson on the run, out and right, makes the catch. Bradley got a hold of one, but flies out to deep right. And there's one out. One pitch, one out in the ninth. First pitch to Mize is fouled back, strike one. Mooney's done it in relatively an efficient way. That was just pitch 45 for the right-hander, working into his 5th inning out of the bullpen. He came on, got Carson-Newman out of that jam in the 5th inning, in which E&H scored 4 times, and since then has shut down the Wasps and put up 3 scoreless frames. Righty back into his windup, the 1-1, missed inside, 2-1. Two balls and 2 strikes now to Mize. Pitch low and away, ball 3. Pitch grounded, foul. Mize stays alive with 1 out in the 9th inning, trying to get a base runner aboard for the Wasps to help extend this 9th inning. Ground ball left side, Miller fields it on a couple of hops, throws to first, 2 outs. Two outs, and it's Cole Cunningham. Ground ball left side. Miller off a couple of hops, fields it, the throw to first in time. Carson-Newman completes the sweep of Emory and Henry. Final score 8-6. It was tied heading into the bottom of the 8th. Trey Miller records the final 2 outs of the game, and he recorded the go-ahead 2-run home run to left. His first home run with Carson-Newman. And he completes a 3-hit day with his shot to left field. He drives in the game's final 2 runs to win it for Carson-Newman. Final score 8-6. The Eagles sweep the Wasps here at home and improve to 5-6, all 5 wins here at the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex. E&H 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They leave 7 aboard. Carson-Newman 8 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. They leave 6 aboard. Mason Mooney, the winning pitcher, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and a pair of strikeouts. How about what Mason Mooney did out of the bullpen? 5 scoreless innings for the right-hander to get the job done and get Carson-Newman its 3rd consecutive win and improve their record to 5-6 on the young season. Trey Miller delivers in the 8th. Carson-Newman wins it 8-6 to complete the sweep. The Eagles return to the Silver Diamond Baseball Complex on February 28th with a matchup against Young Harris. at home. They'll hit the road for 4 next week, 1 against Lee and 3 against Cal U of PA. Andrew Rogers signing off here on the Eagles Sports Network and Flow Sports. We thank you for joining us throughout today's broadcast. Carson-Newman wins it. Final score 8-6. Trey Miller, 3-hit day, delivering Carson-Newman's victory with 1 out, 2-run shot in the 8th. Andrew Rogers thanking you for joining us here today on the Eagles Sports Network. We'll talk to you later this week with Carson-Newman Athletics women's basketball in action against Lenore Rhine tomorrow evening at 5:30. We'll talk to you then on the Eagles Sports Network.